Welcome to the Lean Out Your Business podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs accelerate business growth and simplify success. I'm your host, Crista Grasso, and I've been working with businesses for more than 2 decades to help them lean out and optimize what's working while eliminating anything that's not adding value. So if you are ready to get more time back in your day, more profit in your business, and to do business differently, growing and scaling on your terms, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, everyone. Today, I am excited to dive in and talk to you about 5 things that you need to be saying F it to. So in our last episode, we dove into the 5 top things that should be on your to-do list when you want to scale your business. So this is the opposite. These are 5 things that you should not be doing in your business. And the very first one is something that I saw quite a bit in this past year with COVID, and this is waiting to see what happens. The pattern that I'm seeing quite a bit is people being reactive instead of proactive in their business and really giving up control. They end up in a wait and see mode. I'm just going to wait and see how this turns out. I'm not sure what's going to happen, so I'm going to wait and see. And sometimes it seems like that's the right thing to do, and that's a smart business decision. But I think that really, truly, when you want to scale your business and when you want to take control over your own business destiny, right, instead of playing victim or being reactionary and waiting to see what happens, you have to kind of take the reins and make those decisions even in the face of uncertainty. And you really need to be proactive and very intentional in what you do. I see so many people still waiting for a world after COVID. And while everyone is optimistic and hopeful for what may happen in 2021, the reality is that the world as we knew it in 2019 may not be coming back anytime soon. And there's things about that are disappointing. There's things about that are exciting, right? Lots of opportunity. But I think you really need to kind of create your own world. And I know in my own business, retreats were a big part of my business model. They're something that I absolutely love to do. It was super disappointing to not be able to do retreats in 2020 and to know going into 2021 that I have no in-person retreats planned. And while I'm hopeful that I'll be able to do retreats in 2022, I'm not waiting around to see if I can. I'm making other plans. And I really think that you need to be doing the same as well. And again, it's kind of taking control of your destiny. And so pay attention to where you're saying, well, let's see, let's wait and see. I hear this a lot with my clients. And when we end up having conversations and really digging in, they actually have more control and there's things that they can do right now and they don't need to wait and see. Pay attention to that because that's something where I feel like people hold themselves back and don't even realize it. The second thing that you need to say F it to is to constantly be seeking. By seeking, what I mean is really looking outside of yourself. So instead of trusting your own intuition, instead of doing business the way that you want to do business, you're constantly looking to others and looking outside of yourself for solutions. And what I see this really manifesting as is you're buying up every course. You're working with all the people. You're in a lot of different programs and a lot of different masterminds. You're spending entirely too much time with your friend Google, right? You're probably doing the endless scroll on Instagram. And if you think this only happens to new business owners, I see this with a lot of the really established 6, 7, 8-figure business owners that I work with. And it comes frequently from a place of being unsettled and a lack of clarity. Usually when you have a lack of clarity as to where you're going, or your business model and your actions and the things that you're doing in your business are not in alignment with where you actually want to take things and with that next level of growth for both yourself as a leader and for your business, you can end up in a place of seeking. And it's that looking outside yourself and trying to get the answers in all of the places. And really, it just takes you off your path. It slows things down. It ends up feeling really frustrating. It ends up getting pretty expensive because you're investing in all the things. And it ends up getting really overwhelming because when you're investing in all of the things and you're listening to everyone outside of yourself, you usually end up getting a lot of conflicting messages. And it can end up just feeling kind of crushingly overwhelming of What do I do? I'm not sure what to do. Should I listen to this? Should I do this? Definitely want to say F it to seeking. And if you're in a place where you are finding yourself seeking, because people, I think, cycle through this early on when you start business, it's pretty common to be in that place. But as you're consistently leveling up your business and you're moving from 6 to multi six figures, and then from multi 6 to 7, and then from 7 to 8, or when you're adding new things in your business or making any sort of big transformation, it's easy to fall back into that pattern of seeking. And again, it all comes down to that lack of clarity. So if you're there, the best thing I can tell you to do is really gain that clarity. So take the time to define your vision, take the time to reground yourself in what's important to you and why it's important. Look at what you want to do and take a careful look at the things that you currently have in your business, as well as the things you have planned for your business, and make sure that it's all directionally aligned with that vision that you have. Because when there's a disconnect, that's when you start to get unsettled and the seeking starts. That's also when number 3 happens and you end up getting in your own way. And getting in your own way, I think it's something we can all relate to. I mean, there's so many different times I've done this in my own business and so many different times that my clients do this frequently, right? And that's part of why they work with me, is to help them recognize when they're doing it. But some of the things that I've shared in past episodes, right? So perfection, waiting to release something and putting something out there and being really slow to get things to market because you're stuck in that analysis paralysis, perfection type loop, over planning and spending so much time planning that you're not actually taking action. The flip side of this is spending too much time doing the mental game without the action game, right? I think it's really important that we are taking the time to appreciate the things that we're grateful for, to actually really visualize and think about the future that we want for our business. But we can't just do that without the action. You've got to actually take action, and you've got to take inspired action and make sure that the things that you're doing, again, are directionally correct and are going to take you closer to that vision and the goals that you have for your business. And so I see a lot of people either over planning or over stuck in their head without actually taking action in both cases. And then ultimately, mindset. So not taking the time to actually work on mindset and letting some of those blockers get the best of them. If you haven't downloaded the mindset guide that I have, I encourage you to do that, because it does give you a really fun and practical way to go through and try to identify what some of those things are and work through them. Now, number 4 is constantly being busy. And so I think you know my feeling on hustling. I think hustling is a bunch of BS. I think it's a lie that we're sold, and it's one that we tend to feed into. It's almost as if, especially if you watch Shark Tank, right? It's like if you're not hustling 24/7, you're not to be taken seriously. You're not a real business owner. You're not a real entrepreneur unless you're hustling and grinding it out, right? And you hear all these terms all the time. And I think that that is complete and total BS. And the irony is, if you really pay close attention, those who are hustling all the time are really in a place of lack. They're the ones who tend to not have success or not have consistent and sustainable success. When you look at the really highly successful entrepreneurs and business owners, they have achieved whatever their version of balance is. Now, everyone, I know that can be a polarizing word and everybody calls it something different, but I guarantee you they are not working 24/7. They have learned how to take care of themselves. They have learned how to put things out other than their business, top of their priority list as well, and to actually manage to have both a life and a business. And that is absolutely critical, right? Being busy all the time. I think we need to stop with wearing that like a badge of honor. And, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I was up all night working on my business. Oh, things are really, really busy right now, right? I think we're just all so conditioned to that, right? And you are not worthy when your computer is on and unworthy when your computer is off, right? You need to be creating that space and making sure that you are taking care of yourself holistically, outside of just simply hustling and working super hard and overworking yourself in your business. Now, the 5th one is following the crowd. And if you listen to the episode on inspired growth, this is kind of an ode to that one, which is you don't have to do what everyone else is doing. And again, there are so many different paths to success. There are so many different ways to achieve success. You want to achieve success your way and in a way that is in alignment with what you see for the vision for your business, with your values, with your mission, with your guiding principles, with the things that are personally important to you and the things that make sense for your business and business model. I can't tell you how many times people come to me. They're like, I'm so exhausted in doing this. I'm like, why are you doing it? Well, don't I have to? No, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything in business. There are so many different ways that I have seen people be successful. And there are so many different ways to carve out success. And it's just a matter of finding what you need to do. And honestly, if a lot of people are doing something, I don't know about you, but for me personally, that is my number one indicator that I want to do something different. Maybe it's the natural rebel in me, but when I start to see too many people doing something, to me, that's a red flag that I don't want to be part of that crowd. I don't want to be doing the same thing that everybody else is doing because my business is going to lose its edge. It's going to lose its differentiation, right? And so I am constantly doing things that I feel compelled to do, even if, and sometimes because, it's different from what other people are doing. And I encourage you to do the same, right? And now if you see a lot of people doing something and you look and you say, that feels right for me, that feels like exactly what I should be doing in my business, then by all means do it. But don't do it if you see other people doing it, and don't let yourself second guess yourself and say, oh, well, if they're all doing this and they're all using this platform or they're all following this approach, should I be doing it too? Maybe I should figure out how to incorporate this in my business. And I don't think that that is a healthy way to approach business, nor a sustainable way. This is a short episode today. Just wanted to share with you as a follow-on to the 5 things that should be on your to-do list for scaling. These are the 5 things that you need to say F it to. And so again, go download that free mindset guide with the F it list in there. It's a lot of fun. I tell a little bit of story of how the F it list was born and how some other people have used it. To recap, don't wait to see what happens. Don't be reactive in your business. Kind of take control of your business, be proactive, and create your plans even when there is uncertainty and you may not know what's coming. Don't seek in business, right? Get the clarity that you need. Take the time, create the space in your schedule to go ahead and get that clarity so you are no longer seeking. Really try to get out of your own way. Don't let mindset block you. Don't let perfectionism stop you and slow you down. And don't spend so much time over planning or so much time in your head that you're not taking the time to actually take action and implement the right things in your business that are going to get you results. Don't constantly focus on or feel like you need to be busy. Work smarter, not harder. It's not all about hustling 24/7 and constantly being exhausted. There is no badge of honor for that. It really, truly is about finding and creating the time for yourself and for those other things that are important to you outside of your business so that you can be your absolute best and your most effective and most efficient when you are working on your business. And then finally, don't follow the crowd. Really grow and scale your business in an inspired way that aligns with where you want to take things long term and the things that feel right and align with your vision, mission, values. I hope that you liked today's episode and got a lot of value out of it. I will see you again next week. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. I hope you got a lot of value and actionable insights from today's show and would love if you take a moment to leave us a review. If you have any questions on today's episode or on how to lean out your business, join us over in our private Facebook community where every week we do live training and Q&A, and I'd love to have you be part of the conversation. Head to leanoutmethod.com/group to join us. And before you go, be sure to subscribe to the show so you're the first to know when we release a new episode. We'll see you next week.